All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome. So this is lesson 8.4 about special products. We have 3 more lessons to go. We're going up to 8.7. So just to let you guys know, notes are either in my classroom or please get them on Canvas, okay? And then here's the essential question. How can you multiply perfect squares quickly and effectively? So what we're going to learn today is we're still going to kind of go off the multiplication that we learned on last lesson on 8.3. But we're going to kind of do some other tricks in case you have perfect squares, and I'll show you guys some equations. Reminder, this week we have started, this is the second week back, we started ALEKS. So you have 4 topics due every week, and so the total for this week will be 4. As we progress, you will see this number gain quickly. Okay, so it'll be 4, 8, 16. So just know that they will start to pile up pretty quickly. Your assignment, your homework is going to be on ALEKS. So it should already be up by the time you watch this video. If it's not, please see me because you might be in the wrong class. Okay, remember we are in the 2nd semester. Our class numbers have changed. So let's begin. Bell work is still going to be on quizzes. I'm not going to show this. We do have some in class, but I'm not sure how we're going to do it. So we're just going to skip that for now. We're going to do mathematical practice 8, okay, which is utilizing patterns. We're still going to look at some patterns and repeating expressions. We are going to be multiplying and understanding analogies with polynomials using multiplication this time mainly. We multiplied binomials using the FOIL method. We also used our box method and we used our distribution method last time. Now we're going to kind of go in a different direction. Okay, now we're going to find squares of sums and differences and then find the product of a sum and a difference. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. On your notes, this is our first key concept, okay? So what you're going to be presented is we're going to be presented with an equation like this. And when it's a plus b squared, okay, it's actually supposed to be, like for example, x plus 4 squared, it's actually 2 equations that look like this, which would look like this. And so we have multiplied binomial by binomial. Now we can use the box method, we can use the distribution, or you can use the FOIL method to find this answer. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this formula right here, okay, and we're going to simply solve the expression using this formula, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. So let's get started. All right, 7z plus 2 squared. What it actually means, remember, is the following, okay? Make sure you guys know that this means 7, and I always hate the z part. All right, this means 7z plus 2 times 7z plus 2. So what we could do is come down here to the box method, okay? And then we put 2, and then you put 7z, and we put 2. And then we would do what we've been doing with our box method. But what this is trying to tell you is that there needs to be another approach where you would use the formula that you have written above, okay? Let me pull my book because I have it here. The formula that you're going to be using is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, all right? And then what you do is you fill in the a and the b. So this is the a and this is the b. So what I mean by that is you would have 7z, this would be squared, plus 2 times a, which is 7z, and then it's going to be times also b, which is 2, plus 2 squared. Okay, so when you have this set up like this, one thing you want to make sure you do, let me erase this for a second so I'm going to run out of room, is you want to try then to solve. So all you do now is you just do the simple math. So 7 squared is 49, z squared. And then you would multiply these together. So 2 times 4, or 2 times 7 is 14. 14 times 2 is 28. So it's going to be plus 28z plus 4. That's our answer. So you see on this method, if you can use this formula, you can just plug it into here, and then you would get this formula by doing that. So let's test it and see how it would work, okay? So if we did 7z out here in a 2, and we did 7z out here in a 2, let's put it together. So we get 49z squared, right? And then we would get 14z, and this would be 14z, and then this would be 4. If you combine these together, same thing we've been doing. 49z squared, add those two together, plus 28z plus 4, we get the same thing. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just using this formula that's given to us. All right, so for example, we do the same thing over here. If we use this formula, all right, we would have 3x squared plus 2 times a, which is 3x, times b, which is 5, plus 5 squared. And then you would solve it out. So our answer would be 9x squared plus, and then this would be 2 times 5 is, now I can go 2 times 3, which is 6. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 25. And that's it, 5 squared. So what this is it's a faster way of doing things, okay? Now, I left the boxes up here because some of you may be hesitant to do it, but please try the method, okay? So go ahead, look at your notes, try on your own. Remember, here's the formula, okay? A squared plus 2 times a times b plus b squared. All right, try that with these and see if you can get the answer. All right, hopefully you guys tried it on your own, so let's try. 8c squared, all right, and then it's plus 2 times, and now it's going to be 8c times 3d, and then it's going to be plus 3d, and that is squared. Woo, that's a little complicated, right? It's not really, it just might look like that. So 2 squared would be 64c squared. And then this would be 2 times 8, which is 16. Oh, hold on, let me go the other way. 8 times 3 is 24, and I can do this one. 24 plus 24 is 48. Now, there's a c, and there's a d, plus 9d squared. How about that? Now, could you use the box method? You could, but I'm not going to in this method. If you want to try it, just make sure you got the same answer that I did. Okay. Now, one cool thing about the box method when you guys, if you were to try it, so I'll do the box method over here, is that you guys would see kind of the setup. So what I mean by that is this is 9x squared, and then you would see the different variables. So this would be 12xy, right? And then this would be 12xy, and then this would be 16y squared. So we know we have this, but on the other method, using the other method, it would be 3x squared, and then it's plus 2 times a, which is 3x times 4y plus 4y squared. Okay, so there's our setup there. So we get 9x squared, same thing, plus, and then this is where it comes together. 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24, and then there's an x and a y, plus 16y squared. That's the exact same thing we got here. What it is completing the square is just a faster way of doing things sometimes, okay? It's just so you guys understand what we're doing for. The reason I want you to learn this is that when we go backwards, we're actually going to take an equation like this, and we're going to go backwards, okay? We're actually going to put this, and our long-term goal is to take this equation, you'll see this equation in the book, and put it back into this equation right here. I need you guys to be able to go back and forth. So I need you to be able to learn this method as best as possible. Okay? So that is when it's adding. So now let's talk about a difference. Difference is there's going to be, same thing, when it's squaring, there's two formulas. So squaring, the difference is there's a negative in front. It's still 2ab plus b, and now we'll go from here. So let's try this one. So this one is going to be the same thing. So we're going to do a. So it'll be a squared, all right, minus 2 times 3c times 4, and that's going to be then plus 4 squared. All right, and then when you set that up, you would get 9c squared, 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24, plus 16, okay? Now let's try to make sure I got it right. So if we do the square method here, we can always double check our work. 3c negative 4, so I know that's a 9c squared. I know this is negative 12c, that's negative 12c, and that is a 16. I can tell right away 9c squared minus 24c plus 16, I got the same thing. All right, so we do the same on this. 2x squared minus, and then it's going to be 2 times 2x times 5y plus 5y squared. Now, do the mathematic principles in here. It's good practice for you too, guys, to make sure you can actually do this multiplication. So it'll be 4x squared minus 4 times 5, which is 20xy plus 25y squared. All right, hopefully everybody understands that. So I just put the pieces together. Okay, could I use the box method for this and show you? I sure could, but there's not really a point to it. All right, that's what we're working on. What I want you guys to do is please try this method on your own and see how you do. All right, so let's work with 6p. So we got 6p squared minus 2 times 6p times 1, and that's going to be plus 1 squared, which is hilarious. And then this one over here is going to be a squared minus 2b times a, and I forgot the 2 in the front, plus 2b squared. Okay, so the big key aspect now is just combine everything together. So this would be 36p squared, and then 2 times 6 is 12, so it's minus 12p plus 1. All right, pretty simple, but just knowing the concept of how to get there is a big key aspect. Same here, a squared, simple enough, right? And it's going to be minus 2 times 2 is 4, so it's 4ba. It doesn't really matter how that's written, by the way. It could be 4ab. Who cares? It doesn't, just know how it's set up, and it's plus 4b squared. So that is our setup for that. So if you guys have any questions on that one, please make sure you come see me. But it's the same setup. So if you want to double check, you could always put a, let me change colors on that real quick. If you want to double check this, how you doing, sir? You could always put a minus 2b, and then a minus 2b, and so you see you get the same thing. A squared, negative 2ba, negative 2ba, and then this would be a positive 4b squared. So you see how we ended up with the exact same thing? So the square method actually does do a really good job of kind of factoring things out. So just know as we move forward that this is what we're looking for. All right, so let's talk about this. Write an expression that represents the area of a square that has a length side of this. And then the area of square is a equals, so let me make sure I get this right. Okay, it's a equals s squared. So it's a equals 3x plus 12 squared. So we've just seen an equation like that, so we can simply solve it, right? So we can go 3x squared plus 2 times a times b plus 12 squared. So if we set it up like this, it's 9x squared plus, and then that is 12 times 3 is 36, plus 2 is 72, or times 2 is 72, and then it's plus 144. I'm pretty sure that math is correct. So see, sometimes it can be simple to do it. Now, hopefully you guys all know those that math in your head, but if you don't, you can use a calculator to answer it out. All right, so I want you to go ahead and try this real quick. All right, in relation to this one, guys, if it's side squared, okay, now it's going to be 3x minus 4 squared. And so the difference with that is the formula with the a squared minus 2 times b, right? So it's 3x squared minus 2 times a times b plus 4 squared, right? And so if you have that, it's going to be 9x squared minus 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24, and then it's plus 16. So see, it's kind of really simple when you do it. Hopefully you guys did this at home. If you didn't and you used the square of the box method, I'm okay with that. Just know what I'm trying to get you guys to do, okay? Last but certainly not least is the product of a sum and a difference, okay? If you're created with a sum or a difference, the cool thing about it, and it doesn't matter which way it goes, is that you could just square the first term, square the second term, and you're done. And so let me show you an example on this. All right, so on this, if you just square the first term minus squaring the second term, you would end up with 81d squared minus 16, and that's your answer. Now, can we check that? Yeah, let's check it real quick. All right, so when you check it, if we did our 9d and 4 here, and 9d and minus 4 here, you'd be able to set it up. So it'd be 81d squared, and then 9 times 4, 36d. Negative 4 times 9 is negative 36d. And then this times this would be negative 16. So what you can see, because remember we're going diagonally, is that you get 36 minus 36, which equals 0. So that is why it cancels out. So instead on this one, it's the same setup. Square that, minus 3 squared. Okay, and if you do that, ladies and gentlemen, you'll know what? This is going to be 4 plus x to the 4th minus 9. There's your answer. It makes it so much simpler and easier and quicker to solve it. So last one, you guys on your own, please try it at home. All right, hopefully you did pause the video. 3n squared minus 2 squared, all right, is going to be 9n squared minus 4. And then if you do this one here, same thing. 4c squared minus 7d squared. You'd end up with 16c squared minus 40. A little too fast. All right, that's squared. So it'd be 16c squared minus 49d squared. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. If you have any questions, please see me. The goal for today was to have you guys go a little faster with some of the special product solving. The big key factor is if you didn't use any of these products or any of the solving, you used the box method the whole time, or maybe even the FOIL method the whole time, just know what we're aiming for you, okay? I'm aiming to sometimes show you shortcuts and faster ways of doing things. If you have any questions, okay, remember to come see me before or after school, or you can ask me in class before class starts. I'm more than happy to answer questions, or even at the end if we have time. Another key factor is make sure you get your ALEKS topics in that are due for this week, and please make sure you do your homework. The homework, guys, will help you on the test that we're going to have on Wednesday following lesson 8.4. So if you have any questions, please come see me. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day, evening, or morning whenever you're watching this.